Hello everybody and welcome back to Vegas Sports Talk, and this Sunday evening I am doing the Mountain West tournament bracket. I'm predicting the bracket, and the news of the week will be along in the studio. The final standings: San Diego State was 1, they were 17-1. Utah State, Nevada, and UNLV were all 12-6. They were all tied for second. But off of tiebreakers, Utah State got the 2 seed, Reno the 3 seed, UNLV the 4 seed. Boise was 11-7, so they got the 5 seed over the 11-7 Colorado State Rams because they had the tiebreaker over them as well. New Mexico and Fresno finished at 7-11. New Mexico got the tiebreaker. Air Force was 9, San Jose State was 10, Wyoming was 11. So that's the news of the week. There'll be awards coming out this week for the Mountain West Player of the Year, stuff like that, but I'm going to do a little bit of a fun bracket today, and I really expect this to happen, and I think it really will happen. So Fresno State and Air Force, they play Wednesday at, I think it's like noon, and I think Fresno State wins this game. Okay, so I think Fresno State moves on into the quarterfinals to play San Diego State. The same night, New Mexico against San Jose State, and New Mexico's a tough team to choose, but I think they beat the Spartans and they move on to face the Aggies once again. So New Mexico will face Utah State on that Thursday at 6 o'clock. And Colorado State and Wyoming, do I even have to write this down? I think you guys know who I'm going with. Colorado State. I think they're a better team than Wyoming. Wyoming's just not talented enough, and I think that'll be an easy game for Colorado State. So the quarterfinals, we have San Diego State against Fresno, UNLV against Boise at 2 o'clock on that Thursday, 6 o'clock Utah State, New Mexico, and 8:30 Nevada and Colorado State. I'm going to start San Diego State versus Fresno, and I think Fresno will get more run, but it won't matter. San Diego State moves on. UNLV versus Boise, and if Elijah Mitchell-Long's playing, this is an easy win for UNLV, and if he's not, it's going to be a tough game, and I think they could lose it, but right now, with my gut, I think the Rebels win this game. So it'll be number 1, San Diego State versus number 4, UNLV on that Friday night at 6 o'clock for the semifinals. Utah State versus New Mexico. Boy, they just played on Saturday. I did not expect New Mexico to win that game. I think Utah State's furious at them, and they know that they have to win a couple more games to get in the tournament. Utah State will win that one. And Nevada and Colorado State, and this is the first upset on the board that I'm picking. Colorado State wins this game. So Colorado State wins that game. I think Stevens and Carvarcho will be too much for Jalen Harris, and they're big guys. It'll be a close game. It'll be a fun game, but I think Nevada loses. So we go to that Friday night game, and San Diego State versus UNLV will be a heck of a matchup. The Rebels match up well for San Diego State, but I just don't think San Diego State's going to lose again to them. So I have them moving on to the championship game. I think the Rebels could give them a shot. I think the Rebels could beat them, but I just don't see it happening. I think the Rebels are going to lose out on like 72-68, something that in that proximity. I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And Utah State versus Colorado State, and this is a little bit of a tough matchup for both teams. I think Colorado State will give them a run for their money, but I don't think they're going to win it. Utah State. So, the championship game is Utah State against San Diego State. And these two teams have played twice already. They've been close games both times. And I think this time Utah State gets revengeance. Utah State is your Mountain West champion. So, there you guys go. I think Utah State wins it. Mountain West champion, Utah State Aggies, the number 2 seed. They beat San Diego State. I'll give you a score. They beat San Diego State 75-67. So, there you guys go. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I know you're probably going to be thinking something else. But I just don't expect the Rebels to make it out of the semis. I think Colorado State could pull off an upset, and I think Utah State will pull a major upset and beat San Diego State. So there you guys go. Make sure to be at the Mountain West tournament. The Rebels need your support. And the semifinals will be very well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Vegas Sports Talk, where I post other content as well. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys again real soon.